Today, we're taking a look at Eric Jones's 2022 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 NASCAR Next Gen kit from Salvinos JR Models. B124 scale full detail kit. It just got released here within the last couple of weeks, and it is one of the two Petty GMS cars to be released. And it is today's What's in the Box. And now getting started with the body. As you can see, it is molded in a nice shade of blue. Now we're taking a look at parts tree F, which is the hood and low downforce spoiler parts tree. And now the low downforce spoiler, which on the real car, the top piece here is a clear Lexan, and the bottom here piece is a solid, usually painted black. Getting started with parts tree B, which is going to be the underside plate parts tree. Here's a look at the underside plate with the rear diffuser. Down here is the instrument gauge panel piece. Over here is the fuel filler. This is where the roll cage is going to sit. And this area needs to be the same color as the roll cage, chassis gray. So here we have the radiator air box. Radiator sits inside those four pieces. The air box, the inner side of the air box. The seat, which is going to be two pieces. Headrest here. And a ducting piece that goes between the radiator and the cold air box. Now moving on to parts tree C, which are a little bit more chassis parts along with the wheels. So here in this corner we have the leg rests for the seat, oil pan, pedals, radiator, window nets, a pillar net, backside of the radiator, prop shaft, rear wheel well pieces, down here we have the two-piece vents, push the air out through the hood, vents, pedal box, inner crossbar, that's on top of the engine. Here we have the two-piece wheels, BBS. Now we're going to focus our attention on the tires, which will be Goodyear Eagle Race Slicks. And you can see they'll probably need a little bit of sanding. Now we're taking a look at parts tree A, which is suspension and engine parts. Starting up here in this corner, which has some suspension parts. Up here we have part of the rear bumper bracing, front bumper bracing, rear spindles, rear suspension upper and lower control arms. Over here we have the dampers, rear bell housing, radiator hoses, front suspension A-arm, control arms. Down here we have the ignition packs, the coil packs, valve covers, headers, block, front accessory pieces, intake, front spindle, wiring. Now moving on to parts tree G, some more engine pieces, suspension parts, chassis parts. At this corner we have the two-piece transaxle, into the exhaust pipes, pulleys, belts, the brake rotors, which look pretty good. The detail is pretty nice. Another one of the pulleys, belts. Here they have the rear bumper, steering shaft, half shafts, tie rod, interior steering shaft, gear shift, front part of the transaxle, headers, steering wheel, front bumper, the base of the roll cage, which is going to build on top of that, the frame, if you will. Now we're taking a look at parts tree D, which is going to be for the chassis parts tree, and molded in white, as you can see. So we're going to start in this corner. Here we have the rear roll bars that attach to the rear of the bulkhead, rear package shelf tray, covers up the rear clip. Down here we have the rear clip, side, bottom, top part of the fuel cell. Here we have the rear bulkhead piece. This is the interior side. I'm not sure what that piece is. That's a communication piece for, I believe, the in-car camera, maybe. Down here we have the firewall, second piece of the shelf, the in piece of the rear clip. Now we're taking a look at parts tree E, which is more of the roll cage pieces. Up in this corner we have the top part of the roll cage, which is literally hanging on by a thread. Next to it you have the interior roll bar padding for the driver's side. Here we have left and right side of the roll cage with the intrusion panels, the door roll bars, crossbar, a vertical bar next to it. Down here we have the tunnel, the prop shaft tunnel. Another crossbar, left and right side of the front clip. Another roll bar, the electronic rearview mirror. Part of the crossbar, front clip, lower piece of the front clip, cool air box, fire suppression bottles, the ECU, now we're taking a look at the clear parts tree. So here we have the front and rear windows. Rear windows have the vents cut out. Front window has the vent in it. Up here we have the two-piece shark fin, which is nice. I like how they did it because compared to Revell, and they did it the one piece. Here we have the quarter windows, A-pillar window. Here we have the passenger side window, which is used at all the tracks. And the high downforce spoiler, which is going to be used at Atlanta, Talladega, and Daytona, which is done correctly, so you can paint the bottom side in a color, usually black. Now we're going to take a look at the decals. We're going to start with what I like to call the decal sheet, the manufacturer decal sheet, if you will. The Camaro decal sheet. I'm not sure what to call it. Anyways, it has the headlight decals, the grille decals, lower trim light decals, the side skirts, you got your tail lights, ZL1 badging. It's for the hood. Those two are for the hood. Yeah, BBS, wheel decals, trunk emblem, window trim decals, grille decal, camera pod decals, so you don't have to paint the camera pods black. And now onto the main decal sheet, the livery decal sheet, if you will, the scheme paint decal sheet. And you can see all you have to do is worry about the blue. The decals will take care of the rest. Not really sure what blue you can use if you want to paint the body. I'm gonna have to look into the, well, whatever you're going to do, you're gonna have to make sure it matches that. So honestly, it looks like, to me, a pure blue might actually be a close match to that. Now we're going to take a look at the instruction sheet. See, here is the decal placement guide. And yes, I believe Scalefinishes is doing color match to paint for the Salvinos JR NASCAR kits. So that, my friends, is going to do it for this look at Eric Jones's 2022 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 NASCAR Next Gen kit from Salvinos JR Models. On that note, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.